They've done a full background check as much as they could possibly do. And I mean, I'm pretty thankful for them to spend the time and spend the resources to try to figure out everything.
An extensive search on Martel's property and the surrounding 8.5 square kilometers has turned up only a few clues. One was a boot print matching Lily's size 11 feet. Another was a pink blanket hanging from a tree found by family members of the children's mother.
He's awfully grateful for the police who still haven't found his kids or even a lick of evidence. Remember, his in-laws found the print and blanket, not the cops. And based on what his background check turned up, he's way too grateful that they ran that. So in today's video, let's break down everything we know about Daniel Martel, from domestic violence to substance abuse to CPS visits. I'm Deception Detective, an attorney trained in statement analysis. This channel exposes lies and manipulation, so if that's your thing, hit subscribe. For exclusive videos, early access to new videos, and other cool perks, consider becoming a channel member. Link in description. For the past few videos in this series, we've been breaking down the Globe and Mail's bombshell expose of all the adults in Lily and Jack's life. We've looked at the in-laws, the grandparents, etc. And finally, it's Daniel's turn. But first, here's the rest of that update.
Daniel Martel has known since the day Jack and Lily disappeared that he was a suspect. He's been their stepfather for more than 2 years, living together in this trailer. Martel says that's why he has fully cooperated with police.
Yeah, everything from my phone, doing a polygraph exam, and just ask them to do, here you go, search everything, just do everything you can for the kids, right?
Freshly unsealed court documents detail how RCMP combed through bank records, phone data, and GPS locations. Investigators wanted to know the exact whereabouts of Martel and the children's mother, Malaya Brooks Murray, in the days leading up to the children's disappearance, and cross-reference that information with the statements they gave to police. The documents reveal that as of July 16th, investigators did not believe the case was criminal. By that point, 6 polygraph tests had been done, including on both Brooks Murray and Martel. They were also done on Martel's mother, on Brooks Murray's mother and her partner, and on the children's biological father. Brooks Murray was given a polygraph in what police describe as an effort to eliminate her as a suspect in causing her children's disappearance and possible murder. She passed, and so did Martel. An extensive search on Martel's property and the surrounding 8.5 square kilometers has turned up only a few clues. One was a boot print matching Lily's size 11 feet. Another was a pink blanket hanging from a tree found by family members of the children's mother. A piece of blanket was also seized from a garbage bin at the end of the family's driveway. Martel says it was the same blanket, but it had been ripped apart and thrown out.
I mean, it's mysterious as it is, because the distance from the garbage bin to where the blanket was found is almost 1 kilometer.
RCMP have previously said Lily's blanket was sent for forensic analysis. To date, police have received 740 tips and more than 9,300 videos, and say a tremendous amount of careful, deliberate, investigative work is ongoing.
So that's the update, and as I've already pointed out, Daniel's gratefulness seems more like the ingratiation of a guilty suspect who wants the cops to like him than the actual frustration of an innocent parent whose kids are still missing after 4 months of investigation and searching. But what really struck me was the reason Daniel gave for why he's cooperating with the police at all. He didn't say he was cooperating in order to help find his missing stepchildren. He said he was cooperating because he knew he was a suspect. That's basically the definition of guilt-driven ingratiation. The full definition, that's on your screen now. It's the ingratiation card from my deception deck. Now we're all up to date, let's pick up where we left off in the expose. And just like all the previous installments, which are linked below in chronological order if you want to watch them next, I'm using AI to read it out for us.
As search and rescue teams tramped through the woods, rolling ankles and plucking ticks from their skin, Malaya stood on the side of the highway in front of a local television camera. "It's been raining and they're probably soaking wet, but with the sun today, I'm hopeful they're feeling warm," she said, swallowing back tears. "We're all filled with pain and sorrow because we just want them found. We want them home. Everyone loves them." She also took to Facebook, pleading for police to issue an Amber Alert, a national public alert to help locate abducted children. "I want my babies home. My children are not shy to strangers and will go with anyone. They don't understand stranger danger," she wrote on May 3rd. Daniel also pushed for such an alert, telling the Globe that abduction is a possibility, something he said he tried to raise early on with police, but he said they looked at him like he was crazy. Nova Scotia police require specific criteria to activate an Amber Alert. In this case, RCMP have repeatedly said they have no such evidence. I asked them to go to every airport, all the airports, an intake for different provinces, PEI and New Brunswick, Daniel said, breaking down crying. They will go with anybody. Because they're undiagnosed autistic, they will go with anybody. As long as you offer them food or water, say, I'll take you home to mum or dad, and they'll immediately get with them.
Once again, I'm going to point out just how strange it is that Daniel is grateful to these police who haven't found his kids after 4 months, didn't even find any of the physical evidence, and also never even issued the Amber Alert that he and his girlfriend were so adamant about. If you've watched any of my other playlists about missing children, you'll know that actual innocent parents of missing children usually have very contentious relationships with the police because they're frustrated until they find their kid. As far as the parent's concerned, they're failing. In fact, the only parents we've analyzed who are complimentary of police who still haven't found their missing kids are the ones who are later found to have been involved in their disappearance, or ones who are later discovered to have had a history of abusing children and getting away with it, like William Tyrrell's foster parents or Summer Wells' parents. The other thing that jumped out to me in this part of the article is something I pointed out in my first video in this series, where I analyzed that press conference that Lily and Jack's mother did. It bothered me that the parents continue dropping these little breadcrumbs insinuating that the kids were kidnapped without actually saying it, because that's what coy little liars do, not actual parents of kidnapped children. And even if we took them at their word, they're literally blaming the kids for their own abduction, not themselves for failing to teach them about stranger danger, or even, and this is most bizarre of all, the kidnapper. But the worst is yet to come. Let's keep listening.
It was late afternoon that Saturday when Daniel and Malaya's relatives began to turn on each other. In the dooryard of the trailer, a discussion about meth use in the home led one of Malaya's family members to hurl an accusation that Daniel must have something to do with the children's disappearance. The charge ignited a blaze of angry words. Eventually, Daniel's mother, Janie, ordered some of Malaya's family members off her property. Just up the road, Daniel and Malaya waited at the search and rescue headquarters for an update from police. It was around supper time when officers pointed out on maps where searchers had been. Suddenly, Malaya said she wasn't feeling well. She walked out with Meadow on her hip. In the back of an ambulance, Malaya sobbed uncontrollably, her mother, registered nurse Cindy Murray, at her side. Daniel pleaded with Malaya to speak to her alone, but her mother stepped in front of him. "Cindy, get the fuck out of here," Daniel recalled saying. The women hustled to Cindy's car, strapped in Meadow, and sped off down the dirt road. "I love you," Daniel called out to his child through the rolled-up back window. It was the last time the couple was together. After that, Malia blocked Daniel from contacting her and later changed her Facebook status to single. Belinda emerged from the woods just before dark. It had been 36 hours since the children had disappeared, and she was considering sleeping in her car to begin searching again at first light. But then she learned Malaya had left Lansdowne, something that has troubled her ever since. "If she could leave," Belinda said, her chin quivering in sorrow, "then it meant she knew her kids weren't coming back."
The inference that Belinda, the kid's biological grandmother, made there is a good one. Malaya leaving the property so soon after reporting them missing suggests that she knows somehow that they're not going to turn up at the front door anytime soon. Daniel has never criticized her for that, and it's the same thing with the police. He's very complimentary to them when, on paper, they've screwed up royally. They didn't issue the Amber Alert. They don't have a single lead. They haven't arrested anyone. And if he were actually innocent, at this point, I'd expect him to be indignant about how much time they've been wasting giving him polygraphs when that kidnapper is still out there. In other words, he doesn't seem to want to rock the boat with anybody. There's lots more coming up in this expose, so if you want to continue, let me know by liking, commenting, sharing, and hyping this video. Until next time, stay true.